Ladies and gentlemen, we've all been told since childhood that hard work is the key to success. We've been raised to believe that the more hours we put in, the more sweat we shed, the greater our results will be. But let me challenge that idea today, because in today's world, success doesn't belong to the one who works the longest hours. It belongs to the one who works the smartest. Smart work is not about being lazy or avoiding effort. It's about clarity, focus, and direction. Imagine two people digging a well. One digs tirelessly with a small spoon, working day and night. The other pauses, finds the right tool, and uses a machine to finish the work in half the time. Who succeeds? It's not the one who exhausted themselves, it's the one who worked with strategy. When you embrace smart work, you stop glorifying being busy and start glorifying results. It means building systems that multiply your output. A business leader who automates operations, a student who studies with a structured plan, or an entrepreneur who leverages technology is living proof that systems create freedom. Hard work without systems is just motion. Smart work with systems is progress, and here's something powerful. Smart work is not just about tools, it's about people. It's about leveraging your network, delegating tasks, and empowering others to rise with you. No great empire was built by one person's effort alone. Leaders succeed when they put the right people in the right roles, when they build teams that complement their strengths. That's leverage, and leverage is the foundation of smart work. Now, let's talk about energy. Hard work often drains you, leaving you burned out, tired, and uninspired. Smart work helps you preserve your energy for what truly matters. It means prioritizing the tasks that actually move the needle and saying no to distractions. Your energy is your greatest resource. Use it wisely. At the end of the day, success is not about how many hours you stayed up grinding. It's about what you achieved, what impact you created, and how you grew. Hard work is valuable, but smart work is transformational. So, my challenge to you is this: stop measuring your worth by hours and start measuring it by results. Work with clarity, build systems, leverage your network, protect your energy, and focus on outcomes. Because in this new era, it's not the hardest worker who wins, it's the smartest one. Clarity beats effort because direction is the foundation of every meaningful achievement. Too often, people confuse activity with progress. They believe that as long as they are moving, hustling, and constantly busy, they are heading toward success. But the truth is, without clarity, effort is just wasted motion. Think of someone who runs tirelessly but in the wrong direction. They only end up further away from their goal. Smart work begins with clarity. It is about knowing exactly what you want, understanding why it matters, and identifying the most effective path to get there. When you are clear, you eliminate distractions, you stop chasing opportunities that don't serve your mission, and you align your energy with the results you desire. Clarity turns every action into a step forward instead of a sideways shuffle. Imagine a student preparing for an exam. One spends endless nights reading every possible book, highlighting every page and stressing over small details. Another begins by identifying the core topics, analyzing past papers, and mapping out a study plan. Both are working hard, but one is working smart because clarity guided their actions. The first student exhausts themselves, while the second achieves mastery without unnecessary struggle. In business, this difference is even more powerful. Leaders who operate with clarity can steer entire organizations toward growth, while those who simply work harder often burn out their teams without creating meaningful progress. Clarity is not about having all the answers from the start. It is about asking the right questions. What is the ultimate outcome I want to create? Which actions will have the highest impact? What can I stop doing today that is stealing my time without contributing to my success? These questions force you to separate the essential from the irrelevant. Hard work often keeps people trapped in doing more, but clarity teaches you to do less of what doesn't matter and more of what actually drives results. This is where smart work becomes a multiplier. It takes the same energy but channels it into the right direction, creating exponential outcomes. When you operate with clarity, your confidence grows. You stop doubting every decision because you know what you're aiming for. That confidence attracts others, and soon opportunities align in your favor. People trust leaders who are clear because clarity inspires certainty. In contrast, hard work without clarity often leads to confusion, frustration, and constant second guessing. You may be moving fast, but if you don't know where you're headed, you're simply going in circles. The reason clarity beats effort is simple. Life does not reward you for hours, it rewards you for results. Effort alone does not guarantee success, but clarity ensures that every ounce of effort is meaningful. When you align your vision with your actions, your journey accelerates. Smart work is not about working less, it is about working with precision, focus, and direction. That is how clarity transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary achievement. Systems create success because they are the backbone of smart work. Hard work alone relies on sheer willpower and endless repetition. But smart work understands that consistency and efficiency come from building structures that support progress. A system is not just a tool, it is a process, a repeatable framework that ensures results without requiring you to start from zero every time. When you build systems, you take control of your time, reduce errors, and multiply output. For example, imagine an entrepreneur managing every small task by themselves. Emails, finances, customer service, marketing. They are working hard, but they are trapped in a cycle that drains energy. Compare this with another entrepreneur who designs systems for communication, automation, and delegation. Instead of repeating the same small tasks daily, they have processes that handle them, freeing time for strategic decisions. The second entrepreneur achieves more in less time, not because they work harder, but because their systems carry the weight. Systems give structure to creativity and discipline to ambition. Without them, even the most talented person can waste potential. In business, a sales team without a system may rely on memory and random follow-ups, losing opportunities. But a sales team with a clear process for tracking leads, automating reminders, and managing client relationships can scale effortlessly. The system doesn't just save effort, it creates predictability. You can trust that results will come not by accident, but by design. That is the real power of systems. They make success repeatable and sustainable. Building systems also requires a shift in mindset. Many people resist creating them because they believe it slows them down or complicates things. They want to keep pushing forward, thinking action is better than planning. But the truth is, every moment you spend building a system is an investment that pays back many times over. The time you spend today designing a workflow saves countless hours tomorrow. It is the difference between a worker tied to tasks and a leader free to innovate. Systems are not about rigidity. They actually create freedom. They allow you to focus on growth instead of being trapped in survival. The best part is that systems evolve with you. They can be as simple as a morning routine that primes your energy for the day, or as complex as a global company's logistics network. The key is that they are intentional, designed to reduce friction and maximize consistency. Even in personal life, systems matter. A fitness goal is not achieved by relying on motivation alone, but by having a structured workout plan, meal prep process, and accountability routine. Systems turn goals into habits and habits into results. Ultimately, systems are what separate those who burn out from those who build lasting success. Hard work without systems is unsustainable because effort eventually runs out. Smart work with systems keeps momentum alive even when energy dips. Success is not about working endlessly. It is about working within structures that carry you forward. Systems do not just support success, they create it. Leverage over labor is one of the most important principles of smart work because it shifts the focus from doing everything yourself to multiplying your efforts through tools, people, and resources. Hard work often teaches us to rely on brute force, to put in more hours, more sweat, more sacrifice. But leverage teaches us that the smartest way to grow is not to do more personally, but to amplify what we already have. Imagine a single person trying to lift a massive rock with their bare hands. They may strain, sweat, and even injure themselves. But with a lever, the same person can move the rock effortlessly. That is the essence of leverage. It transforms what once seemed impossible into something achievable with ease. In the modern world, leverage comes in many forms. Technology is one of the most powerful. A business owner who insists on manually calculating finances, sending individual messages, or tracking progress on paper is trapped in unnecessary labor. Another business owner who uses financial software, automated email systems, and digital dashboards is leveraging technology to save time and increase accuracy. Both want the same results, but one spends countless hours repeating tasks while the other spends their energy innovating and scaling. Technology doesn't replace effort, it magnifies it. It allows one person to achieve the output of 10. Leverage also shows up in people. No great leader in history succeeded alone. Leaders create teams, build networks, and delegate responsibilities because they understand that their personal capacity is limited. A hard-working individual might pride themselves on doing everything, but eventually they hit a ceiling. They cannot expand beyond the number of hours in their day. In contrast, a leader who leverages people by hiring, training, and empowering others builds momentum that multiplies. Delegation is not weakness, it is wisdom. It allows leaders to focus on vision, strategy, and impact while trusting others to execute the steps. When you leverage people, you don't just share workload, you expand possibility. Leverage also exists in knowledge. When you learn from mentors, books, or successful examples, you are compressing decades of trial and error into a fraction of time. Hard work without learning forces you to reinvent the wheel. Smart work with leverage means you stand on the shoulders of giants, using their experience as a shortcut to your own growth. Knowledge gives you perspective, strategies, and insights that hard work alone could never uncover. The beauty of leverage is that it compounds. One small investment in the right tool, the right person, or the right knowledge can create returns that far exceed the initial effort. It is the principle that transforms a single stream of energy into a river of results. Labor is finite. There are only so many hours, so much energy, so much capacity within one human being. But leverage is infinite. When you harness it wisely, your impact expands far beyond your individual effort. This is why smart work is built on leverage. It doesn't reject hard work, it redirects it into areas where effort multiplies instead of being wasted. With leverage, you can grow faster, achieve more, and build something greater than yourself. Energy management matters because no matter how skilled, intelligent, or ambitious you are, without energy, your performance collapses. Many people believe success is about squeezing the maximum hours out of each day, pushing themselves until exhaustion, and wearing fatigue like a badge of honor. But this approach eventually leads to burnout, stress, and declining productivity. Smart work recognizes that energy, not time, is the ultimate currency. You can have 24 hours just like everyone else, but what separates high achievers from those who struggle is how they manage their energy within those hours. When your energy is aligned, you think clearly, act decisively, and execute effectively. When your energy is depleted, even the simplest task feels impossible. Managing energy begins with understanding your personal rhythms. Everyone has times of peak focus and times of natural slowdown. Working smart means identifying these rhythms and scheduling high-priority tasks during your peak energy windows. For some, that's early morning when the mind is fresh. For others, creativity flows in the evening. Hard work ignores these rhythms and demands constant output, but smart work leverages them, ensuring maximum results with less struggle. It's not about working longer, it's about working at the right time with the right energy. Energy management also requires protecting your body. Nutrition, exercise, and rest are not luxuries. They are necessities. You cannot expect to perform at your highest level if you fuel yourself with poor food, avoid movement, and sacrifice sleep. Each of these choices drains your energy reserves and diminishes your ability to work smart. On the other hand, when you fuel your body with healthy food, keep it active, and prioritize rest, you create a sustainable foundation of energy that supports your goals. Hard work often glorifies the sleepless grind, but smart work values restoration as much as action. Mental energy is just as critical. Every decision you make consumes focus. So wasting energy on trivial choices leaves you drained for the decisions that matter. Smart individuals create systems and routines to minimize unnecessary decisions. They know when to say no, when to delegate, and when to step back. Protecting mental energy also means filtering out distractions, social media noise, negative people, or unproductive habits. When you preserve mental clarity, you can channel your energy into what truly moves you forward. Another key to managing energy is emotional resilience. Life will always bring setbacks, disappointments, and unexpected challenges. If every obstacle drains you emotionally, you will quickly lose momentum. But when you cultivate resilience through perspective, gratitude, and self-belief, you prevent energy leaks. You stay grounded, focused, and adaptable, even when things don't go as planned. Emotional energy fuels persistence, and persistence is the bridge between effort and achievement. Ultimately, managing energy is about sustainability. Hard work burns energy until nothing is left, but smart work invests energy wisely, ensuring it continues to flow day after day. Success is not about draining yourself in short bursts. It is about building the capacity to show up consistently at your best over the long term. When you learn to manage your energy, you unlock clarity, creativity, and endurance, allowing you to achieve more with less strain. Results define value because in the end, no one rewards effort alone. They reward outcomes. Many people fall into the trap of measuring success by how many hours they worked, how much they struggled, or how tired they feel at the end of the day. But effort without results is just wasted energy. Smart work is about shifting focus from activity to impact. It's about asking, what am I actually achieving? How is my work moving me closer to my goals? Because in business, in personal growth, and in life, results are what people notice, respect, and pay for. Consider an employee who stays late every night, constantly busy, but delivers little progress on the company's goals. Now compare them to another employee who leaves on time but consistently brings solutions, meets targets, and drives growth. The first may be working harder, but the second is working smarter, and it's the second who becomes valuable. Employers, clients, and even teams do not care about how drained you are. They care about what gets done. Results are the currency of value. This principle is equally true in entrepreneurship. Many business owners pride themselves on working long hours, wearing multiple hats, and sacrificing everything to keep things running. While admirable, this mindset can lead to burnout without sustainable success. Smart entrepreneurs know that the measure of their effort is not how much they do, but the growth, revenue, and impact they generate. They track metrics, evaluate strategies, and refine processes until they see tangible outcomes. Customers do not pay for effort, they pay for results. A product that works, a service that solves a problem, or an experience that improves their life. That is where value is created. Focusing on results also keeps you aligned with your priorities. Hard work often makes people chase endless tasks, but smart work teaches you to identify the actions that create the greatest impact. This is the 80/20 rule in action, where 20% of tasks produce 80% of results. By putting energy into those critical few, you amplify value without exhausting yourself on the trivial many. Results-driven thinking sharpens focus, eliminates distractions, and ensures every action brings you closer to the finish line. There's also a deeper personal benefit to measuring value by results. It builds confidence when you see outcomes from your efforts, whether it's a completed project, a financial milestone, or a personal transformation. You reinforce the belief that you are capable of growth. Results give proof to your vision. They silence doubt because they show progress you can measure. Without results, even the hardest worker feels stuck, unappreciated, and demotivated. With results, even small wins build momentum and inspire greater achievements. At its core, smart work redefines success not by how much you give, but by what you create. Results turn effort into evidence. They are the milestones that prove your direction is correct and your energy is well spent. Hard work may get attention for a moment, but results build credibility, influence, and lasting value. When you commit to measuring your worth by results, You stop chasing busy work and start creating impact. That is where true success lies.